Welcome to the virtual lunch. Today is Monday, June 29th. This is virtual lunch number 76. Paul Burton is here with us today, and I'm honored that he's joining us.
So I'm a recovering corporate finance attorney. I practiced in a large firm on the West Coast for a number of years before becoming general counsel to one of my clients. I kind of backed my way into consulting in the legal industry in 2004. I worked predominantly with law firms, doing seminars, coaching, and a lot of on-demand stuff and online stuff now, obviously. So I've been doing that for 16, 17 years. If you go back 150 to 200 years, we didn't separate work from life much. You got up in the morning and you milked the cows, and you did that 7 days a week, and you did it 2 to 3 times a day. And then you went in and had breakfast with the family. So that was this intersection of work and life that we in the modern world call this balance. As we moved into the industrial era and people became urbanized, this new concept of work being physically separate from home life began to create another phenomena, which was when. When do we leave home to go to work? The consequence of that over the last 150, 200 years is we now have this psychological impact that when we leave home and go to work, we're now at work, and when we leave work, we go home. Drucker's Information Society knowledge worker began chipping away at that, the computer era. The internet took another chip out of that construct, and then mobile global technology really just kind of took it apart. We didn't catch up to it until the pandemic, but now we work from home because this is what we need to do. We're finding more and more that we've always been able to work at home, but we still had these routines that we engaged in every day that had these psychological impacts. The pandemic and the result of sheltering in place has crashed those two constructs together. And it has left people, interestingly, more psychologically and emotionally. And I do a program on this called Sequestered, How to Make Working from Home Work. There's two components. One is literally create a daily schedule. Write it up and post it on the refrigerator. Number two is everybody has the ability to recreate, even on a variable basis, a work environment. First thing you can do is set up a small folding desk in a corner and put a chair, just a folding stool. And when you're there, you're working. You're away from work, you're at work. You're away from work, you're at work. That's a physical division that just doesn't require much of a commute. How do I stay focused when it's really hard? Meaning the work I'm doing is hard. And that's where I say, go to a quiet space, create that, and go there all the time when you need to do that, partially because you're messaging to the others in the home that when I'm here, I need quiet. You would never take a call while meeting with another client from a client. That's just rude at every level, right? And yet we jump into email when we're trying to talk, and we do this. And the devices have incredible value. These are tools, and they are tools at your command to use hopefully as productively as possible. They take advantage and ping certain psychological factors like the desire to learn. There's no way to actually keep up, yet your brain keeps loving the content. But you have to be aware that you're falling prey to a physiological function that you have no control over. My observation of myself and others is all habits are mindless, comfortable places. And the game we're playing is trying to go from our current habit to a new habit. When we get outside of that routine, it gets mindful and uncomfortable. We're aware that we're not doing it, and it feels weird. If you're used to checking your phone every 20 minutes, set a timer, make it every 30. Don't go to an hour, you're not gonna make it. And then you just give up, it's like dieting. A lot of it is just understanding that setting a little timer, going into a workspace with a timer. Ridiculously simple? Yeah, but simple gets done. Look, if you lose a client over failing to respond in 15 minutes, how good was the client? There's a performer who has plates spinning on a stick, and she's running around the stage trying to get more and more plates spinning on a stick. And all those plates spinning on a stick are the things I'm tracking when I'm doing a complex thing like writing a program. There's a lot of detail up here. And if I go over here to check my email, all of those plates start crashing to the ground. Oh, I got a new email. Yeah, what were you saying? What are you doing? What I think is vitally important intersection. One, the brain is a sprinter, not a marathoner. So you need downtime to recharge. Doing a lower order task is one way to do that, taking a walk around the block. Secondly, variable focusing is one of the catches of this whole thing, not just because of COVID, but in general. Having levels of commitment, mental commitment, changes how much available energy there is. All of that, energy, collegiality, focus, variable focusing, capture of data, productivity, and then the email is just an information delivery system. Texting is an information delivery system. Browsers are information delivering system. There's a reason Jobs never saw iPads as computers. Your phone is a great communication device. Your iPad is your best consumption device. Your laptop is a production device. Understand that the technology serves as a tool and that it has baked into it inadvertently at first and very intentionally now ways to distract you. And in the end, all you end up doing is being frustrated and exhausted with still more work to do. Why do we think the work week is Monday through Friday? And why do we think the weekends are Saturday and Sunday? So this goes back, if you really follow it back logically, to unionization of the workforce, and then eventually the evolution of that process. Because when you lived on the farm, you milked the cows every day, and you went to the co-op and saw your friends and hung out, and you fixed fence and you had dinner, and there was no work-home separation. Therefore, things changed every day, but it was 7-day-a-week living. And the thing I don't say out loud very often is, why would you trade 5 days of your life and only get 2 back? And why not reframe that as you've got 7 days of your life and you need to get things done and start working within the framework. And believe me, I understand that there will be vicious amounts of friction on this. But we've already begun to see what I hope is one of my big asks coming out of the pandemic is that the corporate world, why do we keep forcing people to commute an hour and a half each way to go to an office to do the work they could just as easily do at home? We got global clients, and they've got dozens and dozens of offices. They've got people all over the world. And I've always said, people are sleeping when you're working, and they're working when you're sleeping already. The idea that I'm now going to spend an hour each way just trying to go to an office to do that work is 2 hours out of my life every day that I never get back. And to me, that's the leadership opportunity here, is to say it's better for the economy, it's better for the environment, it's better family time. If we just start understanding that the old way broke a long time ago, the pandemic just served up the obvious. It does not mean we shouldn't get together. It does not mean we shouldn't have offices. It just means we shouldn't expect butts and seats. And I've worked with, in my own companies, people who are butts and seats people. If you're not sitting in your butt in the seat at the office, you're not doing anything for me. And I've always been a performance-based person. I want to see what you've done. I don't really care when and where. So to me, it comes more naturally. Habitually, you've got to work through the channels, the channel of discipline, the tunnel of discipline to go from here to here. That means take the dog for a walk on Wednesday at 2. Just do that. Go play golf or whatever your thing is. Your life is 24/7. At the end, you will be asking simple questions. Did I make the best use of my time here on earth? Answer that question, because that's the big, big question. And that means different things to everybody. And I have no preconceived notions of the right answer, but I think that's the right question to be asking.
Paul Burton, everybody.
Yay.
Well done. Well done.